Well, welcome. I'm really glad you can join me today. This is an energetic NLP energy spa session. We're going to work on clearing what in us would make us susceptible to the coronavirus. So the biggest goal of this is to prevent getting it in the first place. The second goal is, if you are infected with it, to lessen the consequences of that, speed up the healing, make it a much milder case, maybe even asymptomatic. And I want to say a disclaimer right at the beginning. None of my work is intended to replace professional medical treatment. If you're concerned about your health, I go to the doctor. The healers I've studied with go to the doctor. So I'm not part of this anti-doctor, anti-pharmaceutical drugs movement. I believe that, as one of my teachers used to say, doctors are God's light workers too. And the right drug at the right time is a complete miracle. And are there bad doctors, and are there drugs that are misused and misprescribed and ones that should never have been sold? Of course. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of wonderful doctors and wonderful drugs that really help us. So I just wanted to be clear from that. This is meant to complement anything else that you're doing. And of course, if you're trying to prevent anything, you want to be getting rest, you want to be getting exercise, you want to use your nutrition, you want to be able to do what's appropriate to prevent being exposed or exposing others without paranoia or fear. So part of what we're doing today will be to release some of that emotional energy that's really, that makes things worse. You know, people overly stressing and overly worrying. You know, you do what you can do, you do what's appropriate, and then you have to just trust. You know, that's like anything else in life. Otherwise, you would never get in a car or a plane or a train. You'd never walk out of your house. You'd never walk around in your house. We all know how to take appropriate safety actions, and at the same time, trust that we're in bodies and things can happen, and you just sort of have to have a little faith and trust. So today we're going to be clearing energetic blocks and unconscious blocks that could contribute to getting illnesses. We're going to be working on strengthening our immune systems. Now, I want to say that this Saturday, I'm going to do a much longer, much more extensive session on the coronavirus. This is what we're going to do today is significant. And this is a Facebook Live. It's going to be 30, 40 minutes. On Saturday, I'll be doing, or Sunday, I'll announce it in the space on Friday or on Thursday night. We'll be doing one that's, and maybe it will be Sunday rather than Saturday, but we're going to do something for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then we can get much more extensive. We can work with karma, we can work with spiritual contracts, we can work with whole being permission. We can do a lot more than we can do in this short session. And I don't want to undersell what we're doing today. What we're doing today can be very, very significant. So hopefully I've piqued your interest. So I'm Mark Geiser. I'm the creator of Energetic NLP, and Energetic NLP is a unique synthesis of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and which is a very powerful system for changing unconscious programming and accessing resources. It's a very powerful personal change system. And if you've never heard of it, the most famous person in our field is Tony Robbins, and he has his own rah-rah thing he does around it. I mean, I'm not putting him down by saying that, but I mean, he has his own style of how he does it. But the core of his power to transform people's lives comes from NLP. And I've been an NLP trainer since 1985, and I studied with all the developers of NLP. And I combine that with spiritual principles, transformative energy work, healing energy work, and intuition development, clairvoyance development, psychic abilities development. And I do energy sessions like this online. I do 1 and 2 day programs where we go more deeply into personal transformation. And I do year-long programs that are designed to open up your miraculous abilities. And those programs are for everybody from complete newbies to people that are very, very experienced. And if you're not on my mailing list, I hope you'll go to energeticnlp.com, or you can just go to enlp7.com and sign up. And then you'll also get notices about things like what I'm going to do this weekend, which will be, like I say, much longer, much deeper healing session. And since some of you are new, I have to explain a couple of basic things about energetic NLP, because energetic NLP is a very, and of course we share things in common with other energy healing systems, and there's some things that are very unique. One of those things that are unique is something we call your miraculous self. Your miraculous self. And for the new people, I always have to go, it's not your high self. I don't know why people always want to take an idea and mush it into another idea that has nothing to do with. Your high self is a wonderful concept. It's not the same thing. Your high self exists. You know, you get more in touch with it, you work with it more. It just exists. Your miraculous self only kind of sort of exists until you develop it. You can think of it, it's like if you had a muscle in your body you never used. It would be weak and powerless until you started noticing it and working with it. And your miraculous self is like that. It only kind of sort of exists. And in some people, it barely exists at all. And in most people, it exists, but it's very, very, very weak. And the good news is it's easy to start strengthening it. Now, really developing your miraculous self to its full potential to guide you, nurture you, and support you is something that in the programs we're working quite intensely. But even what we're going to do right now will take it up to a whole new level of being able to guide you, support you, and nurture you. So what is your miraculous self? Your miraculous self is when your spirit, with its vast awareness, is fully aligned with your inner human wisdom. Now, sometimes people go, doesn't that automatically happen? And the answer to that is simple, absolutely not. I discovered this years ago, because you would think it would, but it doesn't. It's something that you have to develop. And people use the word spirit to mean a lot of different things. And what I'm calling your spirit is the higher frequencies of your non-physical self, your vaster being. So it's the higher frequencies of your non-physical self and the vaster you that you in this human body are an incarnation of. And your spirit loves you and cares about you. And in many ways, it's like what everybody wants from their parents. So most of us want our parents to just support whatever we decide in life. And your spirit operates for the most part like that. It gives you free will, and it will love and support you no matter what you choose, because it sees a lot of different life paths as being valid spiritual paths. Let me repeat that. It sees a lot of infinite possibilities that are valid spiritual paths to it. So it sees abundance as a valid spiritual path. It also sees poverty as a valid spiritual path. It sees love as a valid spiritual path. It sees loneliness as a valid spiritual path. And not because it doesn't care, but it sees how you can grow and develop and more from any of these different paths. Now, your human inner wisdom is just what it sounds like. It's your human inner wisdom. And it is your wisdom, and it's also very, very connected to your experience of life, minute by minute, second by second, hour by hour, day by day. And when it's communicating strongly with your spirit, and your spirit is communicating strongly with it, they work out ways in which you can do your spiritual path that have the least amount of struggle and the most amount of joy and happiness and miraculousness. The Dalai Lama talks about there's natural suffering and unnatural suffering. And to make that really simple, natural suffering is we're in bodies, things can happen to us, we age, if we're lucky enough, we age. I just had a birthday, so I'm acutely aware of that. And, if we love and care about other people, things can happen to them. I mean, a certain amount of that is just the natural suffering that can come from being a human being, along with the natural joy. Unnatural suffering is suffering that we create because of our energetic and unconscious programming that doesn't actually have to happen, or because of karma that actually can be cleared. And again, what we're doing today, we're not going to be working on karma. We will this weekend work on karma, but it's a little beyond the scope of what we're doing today in this session. What we will be working on today is unconscious programming, ancestral programming, and energetic programming that makes you more susceptible to getting the coronavirus and actually getting sick with it. And we're going to be replacing that with your inner wisdom and your spiritual knowledge and information and abilities that would help you either not contract it in the first place, or if you do contract it, to get well quickly, or maybe never even have serious symptoms. Again, depending on your own spiritual path. So we want to get rid of as much of the unnatural suffering that doesn't have to be there, and without being in resistance to the fact that things like viruses exist. And I'll be talking about this a lot more on Saturday. There's a lot, I keep turning on the news and I'm talking about this is a war and da-da-da. And that's one way to think about it, and that works for some people. But there's a concept in energy work called resistance. And resistance, when you fight something, you give it energy. You can think of what one of Newton's third laws, that every action, oh gosh, I'm blowing it. I'm not going to say it's quite correct, but it says every action gets an equal reaction back. And I apologize, I'm not quite saying that right, but that's the gist of it. And energetically, that can be true. When you resist something, it can work, but sometimes you end up empowering it by your resistance. And there are much better ways to work with things energetically than fighting them. So if you think of the difference between boxing and something like Aikido. So in Aikido, now they certainly can hurt somebody, but in boxing, it's force against force all the time. Where in something like Aikido, if somebody attacks them, they use the other person's force and they redirect it. There's even something in Aikido called taking the hit as a gift. So even if somebody attacks you, you use their energy to empower you. And it's not through resistance, it's through flowing energies and allowing energies to move and be redirected. And we'll talk about that much more in the weekend session. For right now, what I'd like you to do, at least during the session, is to get out of the warfare model of the immune system and think of it more that your healthy immune system and your healthy body doesn't have to be infected, or if it is infected, doesn't have to get sick. And if you are sick, has the power to heal itself. And that's all in there without necessarily having to fight the virus. And as a teaser for this weekend, one of the things we'll explore this weekend is in a lot of spiritual systems, and I believe in this too, everything that happens is somehow part of our personal and spiritual growth. So if we look at, why is this virus happening? What's going on in the collective consciousness of humanity? What's the potential gift in it? And there's huge potential gifts. And if I can use an example, so I lived in San Francisco during the worst part of the AIDS epidemic, where people were like, super healthy young people were like all of a sudden dying, wasting away and dying. And lots of horrible things came out of that. But also what came out of that was a whole number of people who were never interested in spirituality got interested in spirituality, and got interested in the unconscious mind and spirituality, and in really elevating their lives to a new level. So there was a gift in all of the horror within it. There were incredible gifts that happened too. And a lot of people would talk about that. And again, that's not to minimize the parts of it that were horrible for people, but it's to realize in the midst of all that, there's always gifts. In fact, in my office, I'm looking at a book right now that's on my shelf that's called Left to Tell by this incredible woman called Immaculée, who went through the Rwandan genocide and had horrible experiences and spent 90 days literally in a neighbor's bathroom with, I think, 3 other women and a young girl. And if they'd have been discovered, they would have been killed. And they almost were discovered many times. And not only would they have been killed, but the family that was sheltering them, all of them would have been killed. And they lived with that nightmare for 90 days. And out of that, she developed this phenomenal spirituality. And I heard her speak once, and she looks like she would glow in the dark. She's forgiven the people who did it. I mean, it's really, she has YouTube videos too. It's really worth, and if you can't find her under Immaculée, which might be hard to spell, then you can look on YouTube under Left to Tell and hear her speak about it. And then maybe you can get the book, but it's quite an amazing thing. But it's an incredible example how out of all that horror and misery, there were spiritual gifts that the survivors could possibly get, and that she did get. So anyways, that's more for the weekend. So for right now, getting back to your miraculous self. So take a couple easy deep breaths. In an energetic NLP, you always put your miraculous self in charge of what happens. So my job is to bring the energies into your space. And if you're watching this as a recording, if you pretend it's happening right now while you're watching it, the energies will be there, they'll be present. So all you have to do is pretend it's happening in present time, and it will be happening. And remote energy work is something I humbly say I'm a master at, and it's what I teach other people to do. Everybody can do it. And the funny thing about it, it's not even hard. I mean, once you know how to do it, it's really, really simple. And I love teaching people how to do it, because then you can help anybody, anywhere, anytime who's open to the help. So take a couple easy deep breaths. And step number 1 is intention. So set your intention that right now, for those of you that are new to this, right now, right this second, your miraculous self is forming and strengthening. And those of you who are familiar with energetic NLP, right now, your miraculous self is getting stronger, and its connections to your conscious and unconscious mind are getting stronger. So just set that intention. And no force behind it. Just going, my miraculous self is forming right now. Just matter-of-factly. Energetic NLP is not about force. It's about allowing your natural miraculous abilities to emerge. In doing that, the more playful you are with it, even when we're talking about illness, the more playful you are about it, the stronger it'll be. And then you as a conscious being have a right to make choices and decisions in your life. So right now, just decide that you're giving 100% permission for your miraculous self to form and to start guiding, supporting, and nurturing your inner wisdom and spirit. Guiding, supporting, and nurturing your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your body. So it's forming and it's connecting to your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your body. And you don't have to remember all those words. You can just go, yes, I'm giving permission for what Art said. Because your mind, body, and spirit heard me. Excellent. And now set your intention that your miraculous self will be in charge of what happens for you during this session. And give it 100% permission to be in charge. So you're setting your intention that your miraculous self is in charge of what happens, of what gets cleared and what it gets replaced with, what healing abilities open up in you, what programming and blocks are released, whether they're unconscious or energetic. And then give your miraculous self 100% permission to be in charge. And once we really get going, though it's starting now, I won't be talking much. So one thing that's really important, if you're listening to this while you're driving, turn it off. Never listen to anything I do when you're driving, because energies will come in, and the energies are designed to get you to go inward and put you in a trancy state that it's called the hypnagogic state by psychologists. And it's a state where it's easy to let go of unconscious blocks and energetic blocks. And it's easy to bring in your spirit and your inner wisdom, your miraculous self. And you don't want to be inward when you're driving, you want to be outward. So if you're driving, just turn it off. You can listen to it later. The recording will be available, at least for a while, on Energetic NLP Facebook page and on YouTube. Easy deep breaths. And set your intention that what we're doing right now is going to clear out whatever in you would make you susceptible to the coronavirus, or if you got it, would interfere with your easily healing it, easily and rapidly healing it. And we're not trying to clear everything. If you try to do that, because you can listen to this recording again. In energy work, more and faster is not the same as better. Trust me, I have very seriously awful experiences. If you do too much, you throw yourself into what's called a healing crisis. So just set your intention that your miraculous self is going to do whatever is just right for you right now. Think of Goldilocks, whatever is just right. Again, it's a recording. You can watch it again, and hopefully you can join us this weekend. And that'll be recorded too. And we'll take it much further then. Okay. So the energy is starting to come in, and I'm going to explain a few more things. One is, as this goes on, you may go into this altered state and not remember anything that I said later. And that's great if that happens. That's terrific. So if at the end of this you're going, I'm not sure if I was asleep or awake, that's fantastic. Remember, it's recorded. If you want to know what I was saying, you can always listen to it later. Just let go of control. Allow yourself to go into a bit altered state. Because I'm bringing in a whole symphony of energies, and some of them are very high frequency, and they tend to put people in this space where it's really easy to let go of old unconscious and energetic blocks. And it tends to put people in this really dreamy state. So if that happens, just enjoy it. Again, you can always listen to it later, so you can assure yourself of what I've said. And because your miraculous self is in charge, it doesn't in some ways matter what I say. Your miraculous self is deciding what to do for you. Everybody listening to this is having a different experience. That's one of the great things about energetic NLP. I can work with 1,000 people at one time, and they'll all have their own experience. Easy deep breaths. And it doesn't matter if you feel the energy or not. If you feel the energy, great. If you don't feel the energy, great. It has nothing to do with whether it's working or not. You'll know over the coming days what happened, or even later after this session, you may feel it. If you get temporary aches and pains, that's fine. Sometimes when energy blocks are being released, sometimes there's discomfort. And if that happens, just go, oh, good, I'm just releasing something. Emotions may come up. And if they do, that's fantastic. It's old emotions, probably not even your emotions, probably other people's energy in your space, but it's old stuff, either yours or somebody else's. And when it releases, sometimes you feel it. So if you find emotions coming up, just go, oh, great. Just be mindful of them and notice them and go, oh, great, I'm just releasing that. And don't analyze them. Don't, just let them go. And if any resistance comes up or any unconscious chatter going, isn't working? Am I doing it right? Am I good enough? Am I worthy? Blah, 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 blah. Just notice it and be mindful of it and leave it alone. Okay. Now, only some of you will know what I'm about to say. If you're a member of the M Club, connect with the M Club energy too. And the energy that's coming in is clearing and healing unconscious programming and traumas and blocks and energetic emotions and energies and blocks and programming. And as soon as any programming or beliefs are released, your miraculous self immediately replaces them with your inner wisdom and with wisdom, knowledge, skills, and abilities from your spirit. So any beliefs or programming are released, are automatically replaced with your inner wisdom and wisdom, skills, knowledge, and abilities from your spirit. And again, don't try to consciously control that. Just trust your miraculous self. Let it update you. Let it make your life more miraculous. And give it permission to more wonderfully connect to your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your body, so that it can more and more guide you, support you, and nurture you, and heal you, and help you manifest a more miraculous life. And let the energy start to separate you from the collective thought forms. And I can't explain right now what that means, but your miraculous self knows what I mean. Start separating from all the collective thought forms that are creating this pandemic. You don't have to join the mass of humanity in its fear and anxiety and illness. And you're giving the world a gift. As you separate from those thought forms, it's a gift to everybody else because it makes it more possible for them to do it. It may or may not be their spiritual path to do it. But for every one of us, it separates out from those thought forms, from the fear, from the anxiety, from the illness, from the suffering. Every one of us who does that creates a pathway that other people can take. So you're doing this as a gift to yourself, to the other people in your life, and to the whole collective consciousness of humanity. And allow energy to come up from the earth, that Mother Nature, Mother Earth energy, to nurture you, love you, acknowledge you, heal you. We are literally the children of the earth. Let it send its energy up to heal you, nurture you, acknowledge you, love you. And let universal energies come in to heal you, support you, nurture you, acknowledge you, help you manifest. Easy deep breaths. Remember, no effort, just allow. Allow this to happen. You just have to have the intention and give permission, and then you just relax. Let your miraculous self, let the earth, let spirit nurture you, heal you, love you, guide you, help you manifest. And even if you're forcing it, go ahead and smile. It affects your whole physiology when you do that. There is spiritual joy ever present, no matter what's going on. Divine spiritual love and joy. Let it come into you now. Okay, take a couple easy deep breaths. And energy is coming in now to help you process and integrate what we've done. You're going to be processing and integrating what we just did for days, even weeks. So let the energy come in to help you process it and integrate it in a gentle way, in an elegant way, in a flowing way, in an enjoyable way. So those energies are coming in now to really help you process and integrate. That's right. And then from the heart of the earth, let a tube of energy, at least 3 feet, a meter wide, come up near the base of your spine. Let the earth do all the work. Just give the earth permission to send that tube of energy up near the base of your spine. And that's a grounding cord, a grounding column for you. And let the earth do all the work. And give the earth permission to ground only your authentic energy into your body. So we all have lots of energy in our auras and our energy fields in and around our body. And a great deal of that energy is not yours and is not helpful. It isn't whether it's negative or positive or good or bad. It's whether it's yours, and it's whether your miraculous self wants it. But when you ground, you only want to ground your authentic energy into your body. And a way to imagine that is you can imagine for every cell in your body, there's a point of light in your energy field. So for every cell in your body, there's a point of light in your energy field. And when the earth grounds you, every point of light goes in the cell it's supposed to be in. They all just pop in. All the trillions of cells in your body, and trillions of points of light pop in them. And then that grounding column is like the root of a plant. The root of a plant, what nourishes the plant is coming up, and at the same time, what the waste products of the plant are going down. So imagine nurturing energies, nurturing, healing, loving energies are coming up from the earth and filling your body and energy field. And your miraculous self is releasing down that grounding column any energies it wants you to release. Again, not because they're good or bad or right or wrong, because they're not yours and they're not helping. Or they're not in present time. And that includes other people's emotional energy and the generalized fears and anxieties that are going on. Just let them flow out of you. They're not yours. You can handle your authentic emotions. What we can't handle is we attract in everybody else's emotional energy, and that's overwhelming. So just let it gently be going off into the earth. No rush, just let it gently go. And meanwhile, the loving nurturing is coming into your body and energy field. Now, if you're doing anything after this session that requires safety, set your intention and give your permission for your unconscious mind and your miraculous self to turn your processing way, way down and to ground you and make sure you're naturally safe, naturally alert. If you're doing something like driving, you're grounded, the car is grounded, the people around you are grounded, and everybody's safe and alert. And then tonight and for the next 3 nights, a portion of the time when you're sleeping, not all night, but for tonight, in the next 3 nights, a portion of the time when you're sleeping, your miraculous self will work with your unconscious mind. And they'll review what we did in this session. And it will be infused with your inner wisdom. It will be infused with your spiritual wisdom, knowledge, skills, and abilities. It'll be made richer and deeper, higher, wider. It'll be made more multidimensional. And it will be more automatically integrated into your life. So while you sleep soundly and deeply and wake up feeling refreshed, it will be being automatically integrated into your life. And that can happen easily, naturally, while you sleep soundly and deeply and wake up feeling refreshed. So take a couple easy deep breaths and if you want to be alert. If you want to just stay in the state, that's fine. If you want to be alert, then stomp your feet, pat your body, look around, see the visual details you can see, notice everything you can hear and what you feel, and touch your fingertips and wiggle your toes. And if you're sitting in a chair, lying in a bed, feel your back and your rear and your legs against the chair or the bed. And again, if you want to be alert, pat yourself. Stomping your feet really helps too. Get up, moving. It's important to drink water after this. I mean, it doesn't have to be immediately after this if you're enjoying the just relaxing. But after you do energy work, it's important to drink water. Otherwise, the next day you could be a little groggy or even headachy, because your body is actually making biochemical changes. As your energy field changes, your body changes. So go ahead and be sure to drink water and do at least some light stretching and moving. And you can do intense stretching and moving and exercises if you're used to doing that and you want to. But at least do some light stretching and moving, or take a warm shower or bath. And the reason for that is your energy body and your physical body are intertwined. And when you're fit, your energy body is realigning in a more healthy way, your body also wants to realign in a more healthy way. And when you move and stretch just lightly, you give your body the opportunity to realign in a healthier way. So a couple of things. One, I hope you'll share this with other people, because as I mentioned, the energies totally work in the recording. If you just pretend that it's happening, you'll feel them. If you felt this, and again, it doesn't matter if you feel them, you'll get the effect. So I'd love it if you'd share it. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you'd comment and do little hearts or likes, that would be really helpful, because then Facebook will organically show it to more people. For at least for a while, it will be a video on this page. So if you come to the Energetic NLP Facebook page and you click on videos, you'll be able to find this video and you can watch it again. And I really, really hope you can join us this weekend, because what we do this weekend is going to be, we'll work a lot on karma and spiritual contracts and whole being permission. And it'll probably be a couple of hours session. And I'll announce it for sure by Thursday night. It'll either be Saturday. I think it'll be more likely to be Sunday. Probably around, well, I'm not sure yet. So you'll find out. And again, I hope you'll tell people about that. And I'll post on the Facebook page. That won't be a Facebook Live. So I'll put a link on the Energetic NLP Facebook page. And if you're on my mailing list, which I hope you are, you'll get an email with all the information about how to sign up. It's free, but you'll need to sign up for it. And it'll be a Zoom session. And there'll even be a little opportunity to ask questions or ask for help with something. So there'll be an opportunity for that too. In the 2 hours, we'll have time for that. And on a Zoom call, we can do that very easily. So thank you for being part of this. And it's wonderful to have your trust and respect in this. And just remember, we're all going to get through this. And the more you work with your energy, the more you clear it. It's not a guarantee that you can't get sick, but even if you do get sick, you're much more likely to have very mild case or be asymptomatic, or even if you are symptomatic, to get over it much more quickly than you would have. And for a lot of people who would have gotten it, my belief is, I can't prove this scientifically, but my belief is that a whole lot of you who might have gotten it won't get it. And if you do get it, those of you that might have gotten very ill won't. And again, I can't prove that. That's my belief, and we'll find out. So thank you. And again, if you're not on the mailing list, just go to www.enlp7.com So energetic NLP, ENLP, lucky7.com, and then you can sign up. And I will put that link in in this post in Facebook. And within a few days, this will also be up on YouTube. So thank you very much, and I hope to be connecting with you in the future. And let me know, I love to hear what kinds of experiences you're having around this, either through comments here or sending me an email. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.